Today I'd like to do a video on hobo signs and how they could possibly be leveraged in a bug out or survival situation. During the United States Great Depression era, hobos developed a set of symbols that they would write out using chalk, paint, or coal on walls, sidewalks, fences, and posts. The symbols were meant to let other hobos know what was ahead. Hobo signs are no longer widely used, although they are displayed in certain museums such as the National Cryptologic Museum in Maryland. I became interested in the idea of hobo signs after it was briefly mentioned in the comments section of my Get Home Bag video by YouTuber Whitfield Parham. A hobo is a person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job looking for work. The term originated in the western United States in the late 1800s. So during those times, there was rough times and there was no work and no prospects at home, so a lot of people decided to travel for free by freight train and just try their luck elsewhere. So there was a large population of hobos during the Great Depression era in the United States in the 1930s. But being a hobo was very dangerous. Not only were you poor, but you were far away from your home and your support, and there was a lot of hostility towards them, especially by the railroad security staff, because after all, they were basically hitching rides for free, and they did not like that. And so a lot of the times it led to violence towards the hobos. So to cope with the uncertainties of hobo life, hobos developed a system of symbols or visual code, and they would write down this code using chalk or coal to provide directions, information, and warnings to the other hobos. So hobos consider themselves being a part of a brotherhood, and they made a secret language as part of that brotherhood. In my recent Get Home Bag video, I discussed how I'm now including kids' street chalk as a form of communication in an urban environment. So using the street chalk, I'm able to write along the sidewalks or even on the side of buildings to relay any kind of information that I might want to pass along during an emergency or a survival situation. So while this is very handy to have, it has some cons with it. It's kind of large, as you can see. It breaks apart, so you're going to have to store it in a bag. It's going to take up a fair amount of space in the bag. And it's also hard to write in any kind of fine detail, and it's also not waterproof. So once you write anything, if it rains, it's just going to wash away, which works great for a kid writing on your sidewalk, but it's not good in a survival situation. You want to probably have something that'll last a little bit longer. Fortunately, I've been collaborating with a fellow YouTuber, Zach, from the YouTube channel Myst32YT, so MYST32YT, and he was doing some experiments on other forms of chalk that could be used in a survival situation. And his recommendation was to use soapstone. So you could pick up soapstone in the welding section of your home improvement stores like Home Depot or Lowe's, and there's a lot of different shapes. Most of that I found are this rectangular shape. It comes in a nice little case, as you see here, so you can almost use it like a pencil. It's a lot more durable than the Kid Street chalk, and so you're going to get a lot more use out of it. You're able to write in fine detail with it. It's also not going to break apart in your bag as easily as this one is, especially when you have this case, so you could get it in bulk, for example, and have lots of refills for it. And most importantly, it is waterproof, so it's going to last a lot longer than the street chalk is, although it's still not going to be permanent. So this is now what I'm including in all of my bags. So special shout out to Zach from Myst32YT for recommending the soapstone stick. I think that using street chalk as a form of communication as part of your bug out bag or get home bag ties in really well with the use of hobo signs that are now obsolete, but maybe they could be brought back to life by preppers. After all, these were created by hobos as part of their brotherhood of hobos. Maybe they could be used now for preppers as our little brotherhood of preppers. So I really like that they're cryptic. Most people wouldn't know what they meant nowadays. You could download a PDF that includes all these hobo signs. Just do a quick little Google search, look at images, and you'll be able to find lots of different options similar to this. While I like this, it does have some things that I don't like in it. For example, it's not organized in any kind of way. It's just a big random list of hobo signs. Also, there are some things that are kind of obsolete in modern times. For example, there's a lot of mention of sleeping in barns and the hay lofts. It's kind of a railroad or freight train heavy. There's a lot of mention of tramps and bums. Tramps are kind of similar to hobos, except tramps prefer not to work unless they really have to, while hobos generally want to work. So what I did is that I took the idea of these hobo stones and I reorganized it into a new PDF that's included in the description box below. So here's the PDF that I created for hobo signs. As you can see, it's color coordinated, and I used the colors based off of the results from the color of prepping video that I did a few months back. So if you look here on the top, I have it organized here as a blue one, that's for water. Over here is brown for shelter. Yellow is for communication. Green is for food. I used black to represent people and dogs for the most part. And then red is first aid. Here's a close-up look of my Hobo Signs PDF document. As you can see, a lot of the information that's provided here is still relevant today. For example, in the water section here, it's indicating whether this is bad water, good water, dangerous drinking water. In the shelter section, the brown, you'll see, this is a safe campsite, a dangerous neighborhood, no one's home. By the way, this is all my artwork, so I hope you guys enjoy it. In this communication section here, it's a lot of directional things. By the way, there are some things that are included that I actually don't recommend you doing. For example, here's a little hobo sign that says worth robbing. While I don't recommend you rob anyone, I do think it's important to know what that sign were to mean just in case you were to see it. So over here, go straight, go this way, stop, cops are active here, danger, keep away, be quiet. All these things are still very important in a bug out type scenario. Next, we're moving down to food. A lot with hobo signs, hobos were generally looking for food or opportunities to work, so a lot of this is related to that. In the people section that I have here, here's just a man with a gun, officer, dog, bad dog, barking dogs, things like that. And then in the first aid section here, it's just generally, this is a doctor. You might be able to get help here if you're sick, things like that. I have a little legend here that shows the color coordination for all the items that is included in this Hobo Signs PDF. Again, you could download it by clicking the link in the description box below. That's going to do it for this video featuring hobo signs. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I'm really curious on what your thoughts are regarding hobo signs and whether they could be used by preppers in an emergency, bug out, or survival situation. I'm going to continue to include chalk in my bug out bags and in my get home bags as a form of communication, but I'm also leaning towards including hobo signs as a way of cryptically communicating with other preppers in my emergency party, for example. So again, please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comment section regarding hobo signs, your thoughts on it. You could download the PDF that has all of the hobo signs that I've included for my sheet by clicking the link in the description box below. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video featuring hobo signs.